what I've kind of really felt lately, we both work a lot, but I feel like I've been like kind of like hiring the employees and starting to do more travel stuff and all of that. It's definitely tough, and I have more meetings than I've ever had before, and probably more tired than I've ever been. But I want to get to the end of like whatever this particular journey is with the business, and like show my kid like, hey, you can go from like, you can do anything. Like I was a teacher that had zero business experience and was not a personal finance expert or any of that stuff. And I became all of those things because I worked really, really hard and then, got to this level in business or whatever. But I want my kid to know that like they can do anything. And I think that I talked to a guy earlier today where it's like, it was on a coaching call for Digital Entourage. And it was like, he was like, man, I really want to go after this Facebook ad stuff. Like, he's like, I took this course, I took your copywriting course. And he's like, I'm an engineer. And he's like, I don't really like my job, but I just don't really know what to do. Like, I'm just not really motivated right now. And I was just like, kind of talking to him about it. Like, well, what do you like? What's your job like? What's your dream life like? And he's like, yeah, I'd like to be able to like, I don't know, spend time. I'd like to wake up and work for myself and just kind of like, have more control over my life. He's like, right now I work for like I can get my job done in 2 hours a day, but they make me sit here for 7 hours. And he was like, so like, you could tell he didn't believe that he could go do it. He was like, I just don't know if I can really do it. And it's like, I never want my son to have that. I want my son to like, be like, I can do anything. Yeah. Because I think, for the most part, outside of like physical limitations, like you can't, my son might not be an NBA player, but he can build whatever he wants, or he can go as far as he wants in his, if he becomes an attorney, like he can be a partner at a firm, or like he can go, he can do whatever he wants to do. But people have a hard time believing that. I think it's because they haven't maybe been shown that that's the case. Like I feel like parenting has a big factor in that. Maybe not, but I feel like it does.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And man, you're exactly, it kind of goes to, we talked one time about like, we're developing these like family standards. Like, what do we believe in? And one of those is that's just cool. Like we think, right? Like you don't say I can't in our household. Mm-hmm. Like you say that, and you say that, and Katie are like, that we don't believe that in our family. You don't say that for anything, and you get that from like Paige, where it's like, can I have fruit snacks? Yeah, go get them out of the pantry. And like, like go get it. We're not, but yeah, man, I think that's important. Just showing them that they can do whatever. And just the like, man, I just want, I want them to learn too. Just like it takes discipline. It takes practice. I always get real excited when Cooper, we see this ball. Like, I don't try to push. Katie and I are so competitive. I don't want to be that like hard ass dad that's like just pushing him to where he hates playing baseball. I want him to have fun. So I try not to push him too much. Always appreciate when he does something like he did the other day, where he's like, I can't catch a pop-up. Like, I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
Can we practice catching pop-ups? Like, and he's connected.
That's cool. Yeah.
That I need to practice this. I have to do it to get better. Like I'm the one that determines whether I can do that or not. So yeah, I mean, I think that's obviously not why we started this, but once you have kids, like it changes your perspective. And it gives you some of that why. And if you're doing this, like if you're a parent and you're doing this, I think one of the other big things that you run into is you will see your vision before anybody else, because you can see it in your mind and you have your experiences and your desires and all those things. Like, what it can look like if you begin. And most other people in your life won't have the same beliefs that you do. And they won't think it's possible, and they won't see your vision. They won't see it until it's physically there. Like I've talked before about people in my life that like didn't understand what I did until we built our dream house on this beautiful property, in our early, and then they were like, oh, okay, makes sense now. They don't, I always saw that vision. Now I call it for when we retired you know,
Yeah.
like it came a little quicker than expected, but I saw it. But I had to deal with like people that didn't believe that or didn't think that was possible because it's not possible for them to
Right.
find. Right. And so if you're doing this and you're working and then you're doing the side hustle and you have people that are like, hey, you should be spending more time with your kids. Hey, you need to get more sleep, or hey, you need to do this, that, and the other. No, keep doing what you're doing. You have the vision. You're making a sacrifice now for the future. And you know what that future is. And you know what it means for your family and for your kid. No one else does. Like how how upset do you get when people try to tell you how to parent kids in any other subject matter? Whether it's like, you know, how you discipline your kids, how you feed kids, how they sleep schedule. Like, even if your parents told you how to parent your kids, you'd be like, yo, they're mine. I got this. Like, back up, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, you know, like it's the same thing when it comes to you and like your life, like what you're trying to do. You have the vision. So, like, keep that solid in your mind. Remember what it is that you're creating. Promise you it's worth it. And it's hard now, but it gets easier. Like it's hard today, but it's a different kind of hard. And it's like a more peaceful hard. It's not the, you know, eventually you're going to get there. And then it's just every path is hard. It's just, you get to choose your hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with all that.